Loading.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. I saw you emailed me a few things.
Yes.
Would you like to tell me what you want to work on today if you could only get one thing done?
Um, so-called this assignment is the one based on the videos. And this
Is
paper,
this that major paper?
yeah, because so-called I think for next week the draft of it is due.
Oh,
Yeah, during our break. It's
okay.
during our break on Friday.
hmm
Yeah.
It looks like, from what I've seen, from what you sent me
Mm-hmm.
email-wise, it's something about a storybook-based language observation.
Yes. That one this assignment is so-called a presentation that I did needed through the presentation, and then from the presentation, what I observed from those videos, I put it in the paper form.
Okay.
Yes.
So you don't have to actually observe a random child.
I observed a child already, so called.
Oh, you have?
And then this assignment is based on that.
Okay.
Just like written form. This is what this
All
is.
right. So, like, there's a lot to this assignment, which is totally fine. I just want to make sure that. So, like, let's pretend we just time traveled and it's 12:50. What would you like to? What's one thing you'd really like to have before that time, before 12:50?
Hmm. I think that from this is like how to hmm put it in the like the way the paper's supposed to be, really, like the format the paper the correct way, and then have some like maybe like start draft like how we did it last time, drafting ideas kind of too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I'm looking at the rubric. So you need an introduction. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then, based off of the rubric, is it all right if I type on your paper?
Yeah, you can yeah.
The categories are the introduction, and my italicizing it is just so that you can separate it from actual text.
Okay.
So let me. Will you be able to get a break up? Like, we do anything special for break this time, or?
Mm. I don't only maybe on one of the days and the weekends during break, but I'm mostly still working at the daycare during my break. Nothing fun.
Oh, well, I hope you get to treat yourself. Like, I don't know what people do these days to treat themselves,
Yeah.
but maybe watch something or go get a treat or medical. Okay. Sometimes I can remember things and sometimes I cannot. So the related I'm looking this over. Is this supposed to be related to what you were looking at when you were doing the research paper? Like, is this like everything you've learned in the semester? Or is this just a specific, like, is it a, this project signifies everything we've discussed and everything we've researched, or is this just a separate project that I have to do more for?
Um, it looks like I have to find another article to
Okay,
cite brain research
all right. So
to
then
the
that
observation.
has,
This needs another search too.
yeah. Uh, okay. So, um, so trying to think of how to, what I've basically done is I've taken your teacher's prompts
Mm-hmm.
and I'm splitting them into, uh, yeah, uh, kind of like, I'll show you. Can you see your paper?
Yeah.
On page one.
Yes, I am.
Um, this is just an example of what you would write. It's like, the document is la da 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 da.
Mm.
Like something like that, where it's like you're still drafting things up.
Mm-hmm.
Child's name is Jane Doe or whatever. Like this way, because I find so much of what they want tends to be in their rubric or their guidelines that it's hard to see it when you have so much information to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So by breaking it up like this, uh, it's gives you a chance to just see it bit by bit instead of getting overwhelmed.
Okay, yes.
So, so just as an example for the first one, I figure right now I can help you get your structure, your format,
Mm-hmm.
and outline figured out, and then, uh, depending on how, if you have questions, if you're like, okay, this specific area, like if we're going through this and you're reading it and like, okay, the introduction makes sense, the observations make sense, I have no idea which ones the areas of language development, you can just like make a note.
Yes, okay.
And I'm italicizing things uh, so that And anytime there's like a little hyphen, like note taking kind of like that thing, that's just for you to write in whatever comes to mind.
Oh, okay.
So it's almost done. And then I want to review this to make sure it makes sense to you, the idea of the outline. And then if you want, we can try to find some articles, or at least one article to read for the related current research.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so basically she wants to decide at least 3 sources. We can find at least 3 articles.
Okay.
Just, yeah, it's not impossible. What I need to know is what specific, well, we'll get to that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, I skipped a section. Oops. Because basically, you could use these. You know how it says summary content like child's interaction with parent/caregiver. Those little titles. You can use them in your paper if you want to specifically separate your paper into like, this is this part of the paper, this is that part of the paper. Also just erase the titles and just make it one paper with no extra headings. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure. Oh, she wants you to use the subtitles.
So
okay.
What you're doing is the right way for it?
Essentially, yes. Basically, what I would want to do is, you have to write an APA, right?
Oh yeah, APA, yes.
I want to show you a resource. Have you ever heard of Al Purdue?
Yeah.
Do you know their sample APA essay?
Yeah, I saw it, yes.
All right. Well, let me just show you real quick. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Uh, so this paper, see how they have Branching Paths in Novel Teacher.
Mm-hmm.
That's their title. Yeah. So how they set up, you see the literature review, effective teaching, it's like that.
Yes.
Sorry. This is how they're setting up their headings. So what we're doing right now with this,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like a really rough draft, but I would not, you had to turn this in right now as is, your teacher would be like, are you just messing with me? Do you even care about this project? But it's the same idea as
Okay.
this. It just doesn't look identical.
Okay.
So just make sure that when you actually do the work, that instead of italicizing it, you have like really
Then would I have to for the intro? Have a subheading for that too? Then
not for the introduction. That was a mistake on my part. But so this is
it's just the other stuff after the intro, right?
mm-hmm. Yeah, the intro is your here's what's up, people. But what I'm doing right now
Mm-hmm.
with the folding instead of italicizing,
Mm-hmm.
that's what they would consider proper subheadings.
Okay.
So when you're done, you could just literally make it paragraphs instead of having to figure it out.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
Of course, you don't put the questions in the paragraph.
Yeah.
Of course. All right. So.
And I know that this one has to create. I have to make a cover page so far, like the APA.
Yeah. So that is definitely
Another one too for this paper.
So if you go to that sample, I will share the link to the sample paper.
Okay.
But so basically, when you do your official major paper, what if that then when you're to match what he has on the sample page, the first page is pretty much equal. So it looks a little different in the sense that
okay, yes.
Sort of more like that. You've got the right idea. What's your professor's name?
Right here, the Professor Mushi.
Oh, Professor Mushi. Yeah. Yes. And then do you know the name of the class?
It's a whip. And there's only one section. WIP.
Okay. Wait, that's not the HI. That's a completely different thing. Okay. Just you know what department is?
I'm not sure, but I think it should be like the early childhood.
Okay.
Education, I think.
Well, I've highlighted it. In fact, I've highlighted it in atrocious green color so that your eye immediately sees it and go, oh my god, I have to fix that. My tutor ruined everything. And then you don't accidentally forget to leave that. Yes. Okay. So, let's do this. So, if you had to tell me what the gist of your it says something like, to observe a child interaction based on book sharing. You then use the observation data to develop your paper. You'll submit a complete draft, all the components, to earn up to 20 points. You'll receive feedback to write the final version. And then on the cover page of your paper, name the title of your paper, course number, name, program, and semester. Oh, goodness gracious.
Mm.
Oh, yes. No, you I don't want to leave this straight. So I'm just going to highlight anything that I'm like, I think she wants this, but I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to summarize what you observed with the child, what would you say?
The way the child responded to the storybook wasn't their responding was not really the expressive. They're kind of like the recessive kind of language.
The storybook was expressive so much as it was what was the other word? Not expressive.
It was recessive.
Recessive. Okay. So then recessive so I want to help you find this article.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure we're talking about do you know what aspects of language development you specifically saw?
The child didn't really make much noise when listening to the story, but they were because one of the videos the child was drinking milk, and then the other one he was staring at his mother that was recording, and he was flipping through the book himself for one of it when he was sitting next to his sister.
Here's what we're gonna do. And you got five. So what I'm thinking is we're gonna look for early education plus language development. I'll share my screen and we'll see if we take it.
Oh, okay.
Wrong page. There we go. See here?
Yes, I see.
Okay. So this is the let us review all text. Okay. You're still on. That's fine. Let's
I think it also needs brain research.
okay. Let's look next. Sure. Language development, brain research, and for kicks and giggles, also say or active versus don't know what that'll bring. That was a term you brought up.
Okay.
Okay. So we're doing this again? Not you. Me. Being irritated. So, looking at what's, I'm going to read you the title of something, and I want you to tell me what you think. I want you to tell me if you think it's still, if it's possible art, okay?
Oh, okay.
Emotional quality of early education programs improves language learning within child cross context design. Yay or nay? Yes or no?
I think it seems like a maybe.
Okay. Dance in early child cognition, the Isadora effect.
I don't think so. Thanks.
I agree. The ability to map differentially stressed labels to objects predicts language development in 24 months, 12-month-olds at high risk for autism.
I don't think so.
Since this next one is brain research on women in management, I'll just skip that. Social inequalities in early childhood language development during COVID-19, descriptive study data from 3 consecutive school interest surveys in Germany.
This sounds a bit interesting, but not sure.
Okay. We'll put it as a maybe. The relationship between language and technology, how screen time affects language development in early life, systematic review. I don't know if we're really talking about technology in this particular project.
But for this one, it's not really technology, it's more like reading to the child.
Okay. Development of learning media bowling letters, increasing language tech capabilities, early children. I'm not really sure what they're saying, but it sounds like it could be it, maybe.
Yeah, not sure what the bowling letters meant. Is it like bold or something?
Yeah, I don't know. 1 second. And we're just going to see if we can find 5 potentials, and then we're going to look into them more closely. Where they work. Differences in the development of language and social independence in children's spatial aid and or sensory neural hearing loss based on. Since it's about hearing loss, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Variability. Oh, no, that's another cochlear implantation, so that's that hearing loss. Home literacy in the digital era, the role of local media frequency in U.S. state. I'm not convinced.
No, I don't think so for this one.
Combining languages in a bilingual experimental evidence to formulate bilingual exposure strategy. What do we think?
I think this might be a maybe.
Right? Right. Let's go back. Just let's go forward. Predictors of language regression is association with subsequent communication of children with autism.
I don't think so for this.
Okay. Child cognitive development of parent autism. Preliminary comparison for all parents in the United States and 19 benchmarks. Maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
All right. So before we go into the articles, as quickly, you want to check that pseudonym. Where's the article? Oh, come on. I know you had research. The research? Yes. Cite at least 3 sources. Current brain research examples. Okay. All right. We're going to go back. So all we're trying to do is look at current brain research and use the examples, connect theory to practice, and then draw applications for planning classroom interaction with similar children. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to just let's read this first article. Observational studies comparing child outcomes in leading care and education classrooms with different quality are often found to find between child differences. But within child design, track children across contexts and identify the effects of quality with less confounding. There's an analysis that tracks across pre-K, K, year one. This analysis is conducted to assess how changes in observed quality were associated with changes in cognitive development. Thresholds of quality were also investigated. Increases in emotional support were associated with language development. Results highlight that emotional quality is an integral component of early learning. Do we still think it could work?
For this paper, the child was so-called supposed to be infant to toddler, so preschool is not.
No worries. And in that case, let me just look real quick. That's actually really good. 5 to 7-year-olds. This is. I'm glad we're doing this now because it sucked. Got into this.
Yeah.
It's toddler. I mean, they could be. All right, I'm going to read you this and you tell me. Ready? This research has developed following letters game as learning beginning increasing looking at child language development, knowing the feasibility of folding letters as learning begin developing early childhood language. It was a research and development which derives from these people. The subject was play group of state kindergarten. Kindergarten was a little too old, right?
Yeah, it's older than the.
Let's just gonna skim. They will probably be children. Let's not do that. Then this article describes and compares the views and behaviors of parents of children 0 to 6 years old from Casablanca, Morocco, the US, and the UK on early parental engagement. That might work.
Yeah, it's around the range.
Yes. So then let's go back to this guy. And instead of not meant to back to person's recessive, that's just unnecessary. Infant or or toddler.
Yeah.
Or toddler. Does intention map relations between parent pointing, infant pointing, and developing language ability? Yes or no?
I think maybe because I did see the child pointing at the parent when the parent was recording when it was with the sibling.
Right? That we've already looked at like that. Okay. Does the degree of prematurity relate to failing or scores earned by match samples since toddlers across cognitive language and motor development? What do we think?
I think maybe.
Okay. Dig and play your way to reading, building emerging literary skills in infants and toddlers through school.
I don't think there's music during the story because the book was not written.
Coping with dialect's first role variability on early language development insights from Norwegian dialects.
No, it's a toddler for the.
No worries. The Baby Talk project, examining the feasibility and acceptability of a light touch social media project for infant toddler teachers.
I think this might be a maybe.
Okay. The significance of parental mentalizing for 4-year-old solitary play.
I don't think so for this.
No worries. This is about Down syndrome, so I don't know if that's what we're looking for. Relationship to walking language So it's children with autism spectrum disorder, probably not. Mismatch responses to speech contrasts. Wait, preschoolers still too old.
Yeah. Older.
That fine for big feelings intervention to preschool children. What is preschool children? Oh, well, we'll keep it for relationship between language and technology has time. Oh wait, that stability, validity, automated indexes, vocal development, infants with autistic and non-autistic students. Yes or no?
No, this is not an infant.
Attentional abilities to strain language development, process improvement, toddler study. Maybe?
Yeah, sounds like a maybe for this.
Okay. That's neurodevelopment, so no. Pragmatic turn study of early executive functions by object-based gestures, case study 8 to 17 months of age at a nursery school.
Maybe.
Stop there. Look through this. Oh, goodness. So I'm going to summarize this by skimming. The literature on children born prematurely shows full-term babies outperform preterm babies by 12 IQ points. Disadvantage for full-term infants extends to language and motor domains as well. The result suggests that the degree of prematurity greatly influences later test performance. These inferences are based on data from an array of 7 studies, no control, potential confounding variables such as age. This study analyzed 66 extremely premature infants and toddlers, 70 moderately premature children, and 133 full-term children. All groups were carefully matched on key background variables. This investigation analyzed data on cognition, expressive communication, perceptive communication, fine motor, and gross motor. So this neither expressive communication nor gross motor produced discrepancies between age groups. The findings of the study enriched the preterm literature on the degree of prematurity. The age-based interactions have implications for which abilities are most likely to improve as infants grow into toddlerhood. What do you think?
Since it's an infant to toddler, I think this still might be a maybe because I did see the kid from like when the kid was an infant to a toddler age now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then let's find it. So this is you still see my screen?
Yeah, I see your screen.
I'm about to send in the chat.
Okay.
Or actually here, let's do it. Potential resources. There's one that we'd already looked at earlier. Oh, and now here's that. That should. Now here's this. Okay. And now let's get baby talk. High quality early care and education. The known protective factors for toddlers experiencing child poverty. However, the quality of care is variable in the US. Efforts to increase quality is impeded by cost and high rates of turnover in the field. In this paper, we explore low-cost, light-touch social media intervention that uses the TikTok platform to increase infant toddler teachers' knowledge of early communication and social interactions while validating the important role that the infant toddler teachers play in the lives of young children. Use a mixed method we post designed to explore the feasibility acceptability of the Baby Talk project vantage point of the infant toddler teachers, participants. Teachers offered positive feedback about the content, delivery of the intervention, TikTok, and the impact on their feelings about their role in helping children learn. What do we think?
I think it's I think it might be a maybe still, but
Okay. Oh, Emma, not you. Oh, goodness gracious. Not really not. Yeah. Next one. Typically developing infants adapt to social world part by shifting focus their processing resources to the relevant aspects of visual seeing. Any impairment in visual orientation would therefore constrain learning development domains such as language. However, though something is known about visual orientation at risk of autism, this is about neurodevelopmental disorders.
I think that's not good.
No worries. And since we only need 3, we don't have to keep looking for articles when we're done looking at these 5. 3 potentials, but let's finish this. The first 2 years of life are critical in development of executive functions. However, little is known about their manifestations, how they develop, how they relate, or the status of other people's influences early development. Study of executive functions has been carried out through standardized tasks. Some authors question their ecological validity, suggest an approach involving everyday situations and challenges children set. This article will review these issues in relation to the first manifestations of PFs, then present a longitudinal case study at nursery school. A child between the ages of 8 and 17 months, specific challenges of the means employed to resolve them. We found that from 8 months of age, the child gave himself challenges in relation to functional uses of objects and instruments. He regulated his own behavior both through object and instrument uses and private gestures. Skills involved teacher at 17 months. This finding suggests that the material world is particularly important in these early manifestations, and that teachers' interventions are essential. Implications are discussed. What do we think?
I think it may be a maybe for this one.
All right. No worries. If nothing else, you may find something that's useful, like a little thing that's useful from each of these. But let me just potential search. And I'm going to elaborate on that in a second. First, let's finish the last one. Oh, yes. This is that European research examining what parents know about child brain development. This compares Moroccan to US to UK children. These children are 0 to 6 years old. And then this shows how parents perceive themselves, whether or not they have an impact on brain development, but also how they interact with their kids versus UK, US. Yes. And just sort of like how early education is handled differently, and thus the children learn differently and they turn out differently. That makes
sense. I think this was me first.
Okay. So here's what we are going to do. Potential resources, potential new search. All I'm going to do is do any of these phrases: the brain, psychology, parent attitudes, teaching, cognition in children, any of them feel like they're important for what you are talking about?
I think from this one, uh, books, reading and parenting.
Okay, right? Let's see. And then now let's look at any of these look like they're important keywords.
From here, I think it's only gesture.
Okay. How about here? And it's okay if there's nothing.
Maybe only teacher.
Here. Anything?
Children's literature and maybe toddler. Yeah.
Right. Last one. What do you see?
Oh, let's see. The so-called the phrases here about the relationship, the mother infant, parent infant relation, and the mother child relationship, and working parent,
Okay. Sure.
and maybe language ability too.
All right. Sounds like we've got a real winner, possibly. Uh, chips. And you said working. Okay. So here's what we're gonna
Yes.
in our last 5 I'm just gonna write out if it has if it says something like brain is physiology,
Mm-hmm.
but then it has those like 3 lines.
Yes.
That just it's a different phrase.
Okay.
So reading, parenting, gesture. I'm gonna put an asterisk so that way it'll look at gesture as a word as well as gestures because there might be something there too.
Okay. Yes.
Teachers, children's literature, side of this, toddlers, girlfriend's cat, mother, infant, relationship. Done. These are new search terms that you can use that will hopefully get you where you want to go. Then you don't have to suffer.
Okay.
So, Wolf, how do you feel?
I think a bit a, got a better idea of how I should start the paper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look through. Do you think just looking at your here? I'll go back to sharing my screen. Just looking at your paper, is there anything that you see like that you could just write without having to do that extra research?
I think The part about the content, that theory content, the practical application, the first part. Does it integrate theory? Would that be the
Yes.
research also, you think?
That would be either research, so this would be research you've discussed in class and theories discussed in class as well as any research. So if your teacher spent 3 weeks talking about a specific theory that applies to what your paper's about,
Mm-hmm.
that could be that. But it could also be, my teacher didn't mention anything about this sort of thing. I just found out more about the theories from reading our textbook or doing my own research. It just depends on, it could be things you've talked about in the classroom, but depending on what your teacher hasn't talked about, you might have to just say, there's some theories that people have discussed on the internet. Instead of just saying, there's a concept we discussed in class called blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Applies. That makes sense?
Yes. Okay.
Right? So, potentially resources. Um, so this is all, this will require research. This one most likely. Because there could be things that she's talked about
Mm-hmm.
that relate to current research, but most likely she's wanting you to say, I found this article that says this and that. Uh, this is this section. This is more of a personal. This feels like well, research help you your point. This the child's interaction. It feels like this your uh, uh, points to where this right one. This is probably a combination of research and reflection. Make your articles as evidence. Make your company. And then if you can think of questions, look at the further research questions that your three private. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think? Yeah.
Mm.
What do you think it means? So like let's say you're doing great, you're finishing up your essay. Now you're at the summary part, you're like, I don't have questions. I feel like I got all my questions answered. How would you solve
Mm. Yeah, I think for that part I'll kind of struggle with that because the questions.
it? So what I would say is that go into the PDF
Mhm.
and you see, can you see what I'm looking at right now?
I'm still looking at my paper.
Okay. That case. So let's say you're like, oh my god, I'm lost.
Mhm.
It sucks. I don't want to do this. And look at. So when you can just look at any questions they list in the article, see if that gives you ideas.
Oh, if they have those questions, yes. Okay.
And then 2, relations. Goodness gracious. Okay. If the discussion parts of an article tend to give you hints about how this goes on forever. Yeah, the discussion could be maybe skip the discussions because they'd be able to say, we realized this, but we don't have an answer to that. Then you get to say, oh, I have a question now. Blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Does that, on a scale of 1 to 10, 0 being not at all, 10 being makes sense, where do you fall?
I think I understand a little more now.
Okay. How do you feel in general?
Um, because I need to also do the presentation format of the thing first too. That's like kind of before I really start the paper, but it's also part of the assignment too.
Yeah. Okay. And so when we get off this session in like the next minute or so, what are your next steps? What do you get to do now afterwards?
I think for this one, I was just try to rewatch the videos to get what I need to put into PowerPoint first, and then from there just take some more notes to start putting some in the paper. So having some notes for the paper also when doing that for the two assignments, the slides and the paper.
Okay. Then okay. Do you have any other questions for me?
Mm-hmm. I don't think I.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do we do? So if you want to review the resources, you just click the link. You might have to sign in.
Yes.
You should be able to still, yeah, you should be able to just find it.
Okay. Yes.
But just in case, so that's one. I don't know what you can see right now, but what I'm doing is I'm just quickly for your sources because I've had it where I had links and the links didn't work.
Yes.
Let's do this. So now you have not only the link, but also the name of the book, the article,
yes.
and the names of the people who wrote it.
Yes.
So I think you're pretty good to go. If you don't have any other questions for me, then I'm happy to let you go off and take care of yourself and do whatever you need to do.
Yes. Thank you.
Have a nice day, man.
Bye. From this side, I'm gonna move the video from my phone. I don't